assignments?
I would say, I think she's a disgraceful person. You know, I think she's a disgraceful person, a loser. It's amazing the way people vote. I know it's people from her area, maybe of the world. I don't know. They got here and they vote her in. It's hard to believe, but I think she's a disgusting person.
And one more question.
You know, Charlie was someone who once said, you know, guns save lives after a school shooting. Charlie was someone who was willing to debate and downplay the death of George Floyd in the hands of Minneapolis police.
I think he called him a scumbag.
Right, have no regard, downplay slavery and what Black people have gone through in this country by saying Juneteenth should never exist. And I think, you know, there are a lot of people who are out there talking about him just wanting to have a civil debate.
Complete rewriting of history.
Yeah, there is nothing more effed up, you know, like than to completely pretend that, you know, his words and actions have not been recorded and in existence for the last decade or so. And you know, you have people like Nancy Mace who constantly harass, you know, people that she finds inferior and wants them not to exist in this country or ever. And you know, you have people like Trump who has incited violence against people like me. And so, you know, these people are full of shit, and it's important for us to call them out while we feel anger and sadness and have, you know, empathy, which Charlie said, no, it shouldn't exist because that's a newly created word or something. Like, I have empathy for his kids and his wife and what they're going through because I do not want that.
No one should go through that, and we hold ourselves, I hope, to higher standards.
And we consider you and I as people of deep faith, and our faiths are based on grace and mercy, which is empathy. And we want, you know, like, for people not to dance on our grave because that is not what our faith teaches us. We want to be able to mourn and pray for the.
Here I am standing outside of the anti-American Ilhan Omar's office. Tomorrow we will file a privileged motion to censure her and to strip her of her committee assignments. She is inciting violence against conservatives in the wake of Charlie Kirk's political assassination. She is dehumanizing conservatives all across the country, calling Charlie Kirk a terrorist. We have been villainized and dehumanized far too long. The Democrats set the standard for stripping people of their committee assignments. I'm not going to be silent on this because enough is enough. I'm tired of your performative BS that is putting lives in danger. You can take your Sharia-loving, anti-American self back to Somalia.
This, believe me.
IlHan Omar, after his assassination, called Charlie Kirk a reprehensible human being. Should she be stripped of her committee assignments?
I would say, I think she's a disgraceful person. You know, I think she's a disgraceful person, a loser. It's amazing the way people vote. I know it's people from her area, maybe of the world. I don't know. They got here and they vote her in. It's hard to believe, but I think she's a disgusting person.
And one more question, if I could. A lot of these, in recent of these trans shooters that we've seen over the last couple incidents, this flag right here.
Now you went and did it. Now you really went and did it, didn't you? You just couldn't keep your big pie hole closed. You had to run your mouth one more time just to get the attention because you just don't seem to get enough attention in the news. So you've always got to stir the coals, don't you? In case y'all don't know who that is, that's IlHan Omar, Democrat, Minnesota, 5th District in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And if you want to know why her district is a shithole, well, you're looking at it. She can't keep her mouth shut, and she sits on 2 committees of which they're about to throw her off. One being a House Budget Committee She probably has no real input there, I'm guessing. And number two, she sits on the House Committee on Education and Workforce. That's kind of dangerous. I'm not sure she gets actually anything done there. But they are threatening to throw her off because of the disparaging words she spoke about Charlie Kirk's unalivement in front of his family, his wife, and his children. In fact, can we just throw her out of the United States and just get it on over with? Can't we just do that? George Floyd was no hero.
So IlHan Omar should resign immediately, but she won't because she's a coward, of course. But check this out. Speaker Mike Johnson isn't holding back after IlHan Omar smeared Charlie Kirk's legacy following his passing. Mike Johnson went on Fox News and absolutely torched her lies. Y'all like the video right there. Follow for more updates. And let's get into this one. So Mike Johnson said America is grieving, but IlHan Omar chose to insult Charlie Kirk instead of honoring his life. She clearly has no idea what she's talking about, Mike Johnson said, blasting her smear that Charlie Kirk was, quote, hateful. He pointed out how Democrats call conservatives fascists, enemies of the state, which deranged people take as clues for violence. Meanwhile, some on the left are literally celebrating what happened to Charlie Kirk online. Mike Johnson reminded America of who Charlie really was, a Christian who put on the full armor of God and debated with love, not hate. He called on leaders to turn down the rhetoric and stand for truth. And with Trump and Republicans standing strong, Mike Johnson said this tragedy will mark a turning point for the country. Fitting, isn't it? Speaker Johnson honored Charlie Kirk's legacy, saying conservatives must never shrink back. He vowed Republicans will advance the truth, protect free speech, while the left doubles down on hate and violence. Now it is time to advance, Johnson said, and America heard it loud and clear. Y'all like the video? Let me know what you think in the comments. Follow for more. I'll catch you on the next one.
I think we all can come to the same conclusion that IlHan shouldn't be in Congress, and that IlHan should be, well, returned back to her rightful place of ownership, Somalia. We can all agree to that, right? Because of the things that she said and done. She doesn't work in the best interest of the United States of America. She's even said that she prioritizes Somalia over America. Now, John's going to get back to his old ways, but I think what she said about Charlie Kirk is something that we should not ignore. These people do not love America. These people do not love American people. These people prioritize their own people. Why are we allowing subsets of different countries to make pockets in America where they don't wave the American flag, they wave the flag of other nations? Why do we allow that? Well, I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I've had enough. And I think there's some patriots that have had enough. I think it's about time we take America back. Skedaddle.
Ladies and gentlemen, what just happened to IlHan Omar is kind of a political humiliation that you rarely see on Capitol Hill. She panicked, she lashed out, and in the end, she was left utterly dismissed in front of the entire nation. Now, for years, IlHan Omar has strutted into Congress, acting like the untouchable voice of the radical left, lecturing on Constitution, attacking the military, slamming Trump's America First agenda, but this time, her words collided head on with a MAGA firebrand who wasn't backing down. Now, what followed next wasn't just a debate. It was a brutal smackdown that left IlHan Omar completely cornered, her credibility was shattered, and her political career teetering on the edge. Now, folks, this wasn't some closed door spat. No, this actually played out in broad daylight with the whole country watching. Omar thought that she could just set the narrative, but instead she triggered a political earthquake. So I want to go ahead and break it all down for you guys. The panic, the humiliation, and of course this brutal dismissal that could mark the beginning of the end for IlHan Omar's career. So do not go anywhere. Hit the like button, subscribe, because what you're about to see.
And he loved this country. And one thing that I know that a lot of people couldn't do was debate this man. This man was a father. He worshiped Christ. He did everything right. But when people disagree and when people lose the arguments, they had to result in doing something so hateful. Check this next clip out.
At the 9/11 memorial, we were all watching that.
Yeah.
J.D. Vance was supposed to be with you. He went out to be with Charlie Kirk's family.
and to get the body back to his hometown in Arizona. And you said you were going to award him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which
That's
is
right.
very nice of you. Any updates on this suspect?
Yeah. Can I always say, I think, just to protect us all, and so Fox doesn't get sued, and we all don't get sued, and everything else. But I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody, right? In custody. Everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor. Everybody did a great job. You know, getting somebody that you start off with absolutely nothing. And we started off with a clip that made him look like an ant. That was almost useless. We just saw there was somebody up there. And so much work has been done over the last 2.5 days. You know, it's amazing, actually, when you start off with that and then all of a sudden you get lucky or talent or whatever it is. But yeah, I think we're in great shape.
Mr.
And
President.
he's in custody.
Your suspicion was that he was radical left, and now you have more information. What can you share with us about his ideology?
Yeah, Lawrence, let me just, and by the way, Lawrence is doing a good job. What's going on?
Job, yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
I said you were going to do well. Yeah, I think that I don't want to go too far. I'd like to tell you some stories at how it happened, but essentially somebody that was very close to him turned him in. And that happens when...
I look at it like this, guys. This was a huge wake-up call to leave the Democratic Party. There's a lot of people having these outbreaks all over online because they're witnessing how these people can treat someone that was just murdered in cold blood. They're witnessing this, right? I don't know if you guys have Facebook, Instagram, or however you guys do anything with your social life, but I've seen so many countless people on Facebook congratulating this, right?